Hello and welcome to a detailed overview of Shadows of Brimstone, The Blasted Wastes. So my Kickstarter finally arrived. If you can't tell from my accent, I'm from the UK, so I feel for you guys in the EU is all I'll say. It sucks, to be blunt, but never mind, enough politics. So anyway, it's finally arrived, and this was the other world I was probably most excited about. I did really like the look of the derelict ship, but it wasn't one of these sort of luxury ones or advanced ones, so it's not seen quite the love perhaps that this one and Tradara saw. And there doesn't seem to be a huge amount on this, so I thought I would do what is effectively an unboxing, although of course remember it doesn't come in a box if you are a minecart backer. So I think we have pretty much everything. Over there in the plastic bag is the Terralisk, which is not part of the boxed stuff, so I haven't bothered to open it. But you can see this is a large one. I would actually argue this is probably core set sized, in my opinion anyway. So I love this. I think it's really, really good. So torn. I mean, I started off loving this game so much, and I will admit the Kickstarter did sour me a bit. But you know, it's here now, and it's cool, and I think that they're quite creative. They've certainly listened to the feedback they've had. The models have jumped up dramatically in quality to the point that I'd actually rather have plastic heroes than resin now, actually. But yeah, it's alright. So we'll start off by looking at the monsters, I think. So let's talk about, well, the Terralisk, ironically, is of course the one which we don't start with. So obviously I don't think you would get this one in the thing. But you can see it's pretty sizable, 10 plus 5 per hero. It's got terror, it's got defense, it's got sort of some swallowing ability. So that's kind of cool. At the brutal level, it gets bigger, 20 plus 5. Because I've sort of merged things, I don't have the threat cards, but I believe that would be partially an epic threat, effectively. Well, it's part of an epic threat. In terms of the ones which do come with the base game, okay, you've got sand crabs, okay, 7 health, 5 defense, which is quite an absurd amount, and they can only see crits reduce their defense to 3, which is huge. 5 combat as well, so they are nasty. Initiative 5. They're fast as well. They are nasty. You have the Wasteland Warlord, and we'll go through some of this extra bits. A bit like the Swamps Snake Men, they have sort of unique stuff. Okay, so 12 plus 3. Again, some of the epic threats are warbands, which is effectively him leading some people. Cool artwork. The art is still just obscenely good. So the artist, we've got an art book with the Kickstarter and it's just lovely. Wasteland Scabbies, so they're kind of cool. Again, 7 and 3. Desert Raiders, scrap rifle, d6 damage, plus 5 to hit. You know, sort of kind of vanilla, nothing like the sand crabs. Peril Dice Initiative, they got up to 11 health. I think that this is very much a harder world. I haven't played it yet because I haven't made the models. I need to buy some bloody thingies. Plastic cement. But yeah, it's Initiative 7 on the Ghost Warriors. That's pretty nuts. And they are, I think, ghosts, unsurprisingly. So that's kind of cool. So those are those. Those are more for the canyons, which is kind of an exciting thing in its own right. I haven't made them because, like I said, I don't have any plastic glue at the present. But you can sort of see the detail is there now. This is the sort of detail I'd expect on minis that we were lacking before. So these are the Ghost Warriors. Obviously, you get 6 of those, which is a decent number. Then you've got the Scavengers. So they're very Tuscan. Okay, I'm sure they're not Tuscan Raiders because, you know, Disney would get involved and you don't want to piss them off. But yeah, they're Tuscans. So that's those, 6 of those. Now, the warband, I'm obviously missing a green card because you do have heavies as well. So this is your first, maybe your first, I don't know, multi-part sprue. So you've actually got two heads here, one for a warband guy and one for a heavy. So they have this big scrap cannon, and the warband warrior, what's he called? War Master. He has an axe and a shield. So you get 3 sprues, and they expect you to make two heavies effectively, and one War Master. And then the sand crabs, I just think these are great. I love them, these monsters. I've always loved these because they dry brush so beautifully. So you really need almost no skill to actually paint them. Like the tentacles in the first space game. Quick dry brush, job's done. Really nice. So 3 of those. So that's what, 18 models within this game, which is not a small chunk. The tiles are pretty cool. Obviously we're now into the canyons. I love the canyons, I think they're awesome. No mission starts in there, which I thought was a bit of a miss. So that surprised me a bit. You can see that the blasted wastes, they're not the most thrilling tiles. You got sort of Mad Maxian stuff. Oh, so hate corners and cross pieces, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time. This blue stuff is a terrain hazard at night. Night, you say? Well, we'll get to that in a second. So that blue stuff matters in the other world. So you've got those. I mean, you know, it's sand, and they don't do a great deal with it. Some of these are a bit more exciting. So there's a starting tile for the thing. Sorry for the glare. This is like a crashed ship offering entrance. That's pretty cool. Crashed wagon falling off of the cliffs, because you remember you're at the bottom of canyons here. And again, this is sort of like a planet where they send loads of people to die. It's sort of a bit like Pitch Black, you know, the planet from Pitch Black, only with Mad Max in it. So you've got nice dark stone there maybe, but you've got a little lake. And then I don't even know what that is. Sort of some wreckage. This is kind of cool. I don't know if we can see it. There's a little snake there, a little adder. Rattlesnake probably. I'm showing my country. And some more blue poison. Let's double up. Okay, so same one. A little geode, whatever the hell that is. Looks dark stony. These are interior tiles, so that's cool because the weather is pretty ferocious in this thing. This, I think, is the bottom of a sentinel who'll pop up in some of the adventure cards. And, you know, sandy. You've got, I don't know, elevation here. You've certainly got something. I'm a bit out of practice. I sort of gave up after wave 1.5 just on the virtue that I wanted it all before I sort of committed to it. Lovely waterfall. Got some dead dude down there. I mean, the tiles are pretty epic, I'm not going to lie. I think the canyons, the artist has really enjoyed doing them. And the water's beautiful, and so on and so forth. This is a pretty big tile. And there's a big skelly bobs there. Cool stuff. Sort of going quite slow. I just like to show people what they want, and if you want to pause it, I don't see why you can't. I think it's important. It's not like you're going to print off these maps from my crappy video. So those are the map tiles. You know, they're tiles at the end of the day. Nothing too earth-shattering. So, what to talk about next? I suppose the decks. You've got your map decks. So you've got your canyon map deck. And you've got your blasted wastes. I'm actually missing one of the map cards from the canyon. I'm not sure if it got filed with one of the many others. And you can see they've got this this is actually not, that's a bad example, that's from the mission pack. But you can see here you've got the broken freighter, and it tells you that it's an interior location. I'm not sure if you've seen that already in Tradara, but it does have quite a large impact on quite a lot of the events here. So let's go through the canyon, because I think that's in itself pretty exciting, and this is why I would probably pitch this actually as, like I said, this is really a slightly smaller core box without the heroes, if you will, because you literally have 2 other worlds here. You've got the canyon, and you've got the the wastes. So you got your encounters. I do like the new colour setup, and again you can see you've got quite a few weather ones. So I'll skip through, show some of these off. Okay, circling vultures, cool. Heat mirages. You have all of this horrible stuff happen to you, and on a 3+ it was a mirage. So this is interesting. Now, you did have 3 mine artifacts and 3 mine events, which I have not included in my overview. This is an event that basically turns it into the mine. So if I just pull up the end cap, I didn't bother pulling out the end cap. So there's a mine end cap. I'm not sure how it would work in the other world, but cleverly I don't have the other one, but you do have sort of a glowing one for the mine, so you can have one where outdoors is glowing and you go out into the outdoors, which is cool. So that's that. You can see there's the glowing one there. Flash flood, sand scorpions. Nice, they're sort of normal, not too outside like the realm of normalcy. The Rustler's Moon, which is pretty cool. A lost caravan, you can find some stuff and obviously some dead people. Broken wagon, get some tokens. Get ambushed from above. It's all very thematic, it's all pretty cool. Man-eater cactus, okay, maybe that's a little less normal, but that's that. So you got some cool, I mean again, that's a sizable deck. I think 15 encounters there. And you have an entire deck of artifacts, okay, which is the normal size artifacts for Cinder and things like that. So you get this twice over. There's all to do with this 12th Cavalry, so carbine based on movement, a club that gives you some money, quite a light jacket which gives you move and armour, that's pretty nice, a pistol which lets you ignore tough, that's nice, boots give you a bit more move, like loads of other stuff. These are cool, and these are also provided as mine artifacts, and they're again not shown by me. So tribal war dance, so tribal only, tribal wind dance, tribal spirit dance, so that's cool. Dead Man's Canteen, another way to heal. I think this one was a promo, sorry I'm getting them all mixed up. Void dance, actually create a gate. Another bandana, meh, who cares, it's not worth a wait in my opinion. And ghost paint. I don't think there's any like game-changing artifacts there, but I still think that is pretty cool. Okay, you get your world card for your canyons. Not entirely sure if you're gonna pop a gate through. I don't see why not. You can see their +1 defense during an ambush, and you get grit back on a 4+, so it's easier to get grit back. Moving to the blasted wastes, you can see here on a 7, when you hold Breath of the Darkness, you take a corruption, and you use the Wasteland loot deck, and you draw 1 extra card. These are all starting to sound very interesting indeed. What could they all be? So dropping into the encounters, I apologise in advance. I have got the expansion packs, so my deck is sort of almost double size. And I can't remember which ones are which. So some of these are actually from the expansion, and the little like card expansion. So you can see Blistering Suns, discard if not the day. So I probably should have gone through the rulebook first, but you do have a day and night cycle here. Heat Lightning, you can see this is all weathers, so this is where these interior rooms, see, unless on an interior map tile, you start taking damage. Heat Lightning, Sandstorm, Hive Town Patrol, so there you go. That's cool. Patrols, Ion Storm, no tech items, so that's bad for all your Targa stuff. The Black Wall, no exits. The Rex Warden, this is one of the wardens I was talking about, the one we found on that map tile. Quicksand, Long Year's Betrayal, that was a bit stupid I think. You see someone who betrayed someone, so then you betray people. Broken Helmet, cool. Loot, Void Twister, New Arrivals is cool, because like I said, there's like a prison planet, some people have been dropped off, so you can either like become friends with them, or you don't become friends with them, they get killed before you can even meet them, which is kind of gross but cool. Streak in the Sun, moves sun on 1 position, so this is what happens, you can see it move to days. some lone survivor, altar to the great kraken, that'll come back in a minute, caustic geyser, sandstorm, crashed escape pod, blinking beacon, so here you can find some cool loot, and at night it's easier to see because it's blinking and you can see it. Barter Town signpost, and this is the thing which just makes me super happy. See, if successful, blah 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 blah, the heroes may visit a wasteland barter town even if the adventure does not end in the blasted wastes. Now, we've seen homebrewed otherworld towns, but now we actually have a proper one, and you can do it if your mission ends there, or if you pull this card, you can do it even if your mission doesn't end. So if you've got your final encounter in the blasted waste, you don't have to go home. So that's cool. There's some cool ones. You know the deal. Okay, desert dwellings, chittering below, ocean of bones. Oh, it's a friendly place, isn't it? Oh, to be in the world of Shadows of Brimstone. Artifacts, again, this is a double set, so apologies. Wasteland wrap, some heat, health. Armour 5+, pretty nice, but it does take a hand. New water, which heals you, +1 cunning. Junk bombs, that's a new skill. The big thing about junk bombs, you can see it's obviously looking quite a lot like dynamite, but not as good, is it's a free action, so that's nuts. Sand boots, lots of upgrade slots, binoculars. I think the Doom rifle sounds pretty powerful with some of the later models, because you can't really actually see the defense do that much anymore. So 4 shots and 3 upgrade slots is nuts. Guitar necklace, arm wraps. This is nice as well. So the parasites normally suck, but this one, -3 health. Boo, that's the boo bit. Immune to poison. That's alright. Corruption resistance reduced by 1. Mutations are fun anyway. And at the start of each event, again, a personal revive token. That's alright. So you can't go wrong there. There's the warden. And then you can grab his head. +2 sanity. And it basically permanently negates ambush attacks, which is nuts. Shock rod. Stunned. If you've got some of the later expansions, you'll have seen that already. Immune to heat, that's nice. A cooling vest, survival gear, immunity to poison, nectar, jagged blade. This is alluding to something new as well. Discard 4 scrap tokens or tech to gain a dark stone or a tech token. What's that? Small survival gear. So you got some doubling up. A pike, +1 damage. Another jagged blade, another pike. Some crappy shackles. Cargo manifest, nothing too exciting for that. Railgun's cool, it uses scrap. Some sort of, well, it looks like a bat left to me, but I'm sure it's not, because again, don't want to get sued. And that's that. So that's cool. Your Otherworld threat cards, there's a good old stack of them. I'll be honest, I'm not sure how many of these came with the game and how many came with additional monsters. Wasteland Battle, Corrosive Tentacles. So there you go, if you're looking to do alternate sculpts, it's red tentacles for Corrosive Tentacles, and they basically melt items, which is pretty horrendous. And I quite like these, they've got quite a nice colour. Desert, and they feed on tech. Yummy. These are Ghost Warriors, Void Runners, Sand Crabs. Here's your raiding parties, so 1 warrior, 1 warlord and scavengers, and so on and so forth. Scavenger, Terralisk. Here you can see the Terralisk does pop up, but I'm guessing that those cards are obviously coming from the Terralisk pack rather than anything else. So what are the war bands like? So these are the different bands of Wastelanders you can see. So you got more sort of spiel, which is nice. So no bonus. They're the common ones. Flesh eaters, so +1 damage if it's strength 3. Sons of Dracoth. This is quite cool. You can see these were soldiers of the Vento Star Empire and tried to seize control. They were banished to an inescapable world. So that's cool. So they drop tech and they have energy weapons. Night Runners. They're really badly mutated. Krakenborn is like a sort of Fallout-esque sort of god that they sort of worship, so that's kind of cool. And that's that. So they're cool. They give a bit more flavour to it. I'm going to admit I've never been a huge fan of those. Right from when they came out with them in the snakes, just because it's another bloody stack of cards to have to deal with, and there are so many. But yeah, no, never mind. These are your warlords. So the warlord has extra stuff on him. Okay, so again you've got some sort of spiel around them. You've got extra armour or whatever. And obviously, if you draw one of the warbands, you find the relevant war master. Sorry, not warlord. So a war master for the band you found. Nearly done on cards. Okay. There are these ones, which I'm not entirely sure where they belong. Wasteland scrap armour. Discard a scrap armour marker to prevent 3 wounds you would take with 5 upgrade slots. I freaking love these, and there's 4 of them. Okay, and we'll talk about how you get those in a little while. And a junk bomb satchel. So, like we said, free dynamite action, but not quite as good as dynamite. So, they're sort of weird. I'm not sure. I'm assuming they will appear in the base game, but I'm not entirely sure. The final deck of cards we have to deal with is its very own loot deck. Okay, so they have a unique loot deck. So artifact, gear, mine artifact, darkstone, gold. You can say alien coins, and they're cool. Alien coins, piece of tech. So you got a tech piece, and basically, at the risk of spoiling it, your new otherworld has a city, and scrap and tech are the currencies of that city. So that's pretty cool. D3 scrap, D6 scrap. So you've got that. Now, what's also interesting is scrap actually has a weight value. So you get a bag of scrap. My light is very glary tonight, apologies. Bag of tech tiles. You get a whole load more of these stupid tokens. Flash bombs, spice and nectar. And your usual stuff. If you don't have the base game, you've got your stranglers and stuff in card form. And then you've got these, which are the places to go in the new city. And you've got like markers for the day and night track and for the city events track there. So this is the day and night track. I mean, I don't seem that. They say how it will move on a lot. Okay, so you roll a d8 when you arrive to see where it is. And like I said, night tends to be worse actually than day. Although I think monsters are stronger in the day, so go figure. They're bad no matter what. So there's an event card that will move it on, and there is a depth event that will move it on. But as far as I can tell, that's it. So yeah, that's kind of cool. I'm sure they'll make a stupidly overproduced resin one of those in the near future. And then move on to the stuff, the cool stuff. So depth event, there's your canyons and your blasted waste depths event. You can see, there you go, twin suns, advance the sun track 1 position. And over the back, you have the Wasteland campsite and yeah, a bar to town wasteland. So 4 locations that you're going to be able to draw. So what are the locations like? You've got the gladiatorial arena, so you've got your events as usual, and you can see training. I do apologise for the light in here. Okay, so you can bet on a match, that's kind of cool, and you can fight in the arena, so that's kind of cool. And then you can also get some surgery for your mutations, buy some bandages and tonic, train with a veteran, so you can get some XP. And you can get some new tricks, which will cause more admin. But they're kind of cool. Once for adventure, you may ignore all damage you would take from a single hit and immediately shift spun space in one direction. I mean, that is... Oh, sorry, it's not focusing properly. That's pretty nuts. Ignore defense is not terrible either. Gladiator's reflexes. +2 initiative. I mean, they're pretty good. I mean, granted, you have to roll 11 plus to get it, but... that is nice. So yeah, I quite like that. So that one's kind of cool. None of them are like earth-shattering, but well, there's one I think is pretty earth-shattering. But yeah. So the marketplace again, you've got sort of events. I love that it brings a lot more life, like otherworld life, like alien assassins and stuff like that. So rock bandages, used bandages, lovely. Desert spice, the Kraken's nectar. Can't remember what nectar does. We'll probably see it in the rules. So you can sell off your dark stone. You can go get a drink and stuff like that. You can do some dice. I haven't really read any of these. Okay, so I've got no idea what that actually is, but you can read it if you want to pause. Then you've got some alien clothing. Okay, so scavenger goggles, wasteland head wrap, water finder. So that's pretty nice. Once per event you may heal D8 wounds from every hero. That's nuts. Transports a Carnuto, which they haven't drawn to my knowledge, so I'm not sure what that is. Or a big motorcycle, or a scrap wagon. That's pretty cool. 8,500. You can't go wrong with that. Then we move on to the scavenger dock. A load more events as before, so you can sort of see all of the events. Okay, so you've got surgery obviously just as before. Leech treatment, which gets rid of corruptions. It's Xanthar. Now I've just got into RPGs. I'm not sure if that's a nod to Xanathar, but maybe it is. Bandages, whiskey, tonic, another sort of bone saw, which is okay. Stim patches, which is cool. Gut scrubber, and you can get rid of a parasite, so that's kind of cool. A filter mask, and then you've got like a specimen basket, which is very similar to what we saw with the regular dock, and you can sell it off for loads more money. Scientific research is cool, but you need medical cunning, so you can get fungus research, so that means you basically stop using up your swamp fungus. And alien biology, so you can get sort of damage and stuff like that. So I just love all of these sort of things. I think they're just cool. This one, when I saw that he had another world, it made me very excited. I think this and the Frontier Town have to be the expansions, the best expansions in my opinion. In terms of adding stuff outside the generic stuff is brilliant. The temple I haven't really read, okay, but basically they have an idol. You roll off on the idol. You can see it could be a bomb. The Great Kraken, which I think is like the land, sea Kraken, whatever it is. I haven't got that one out yet. A warp drive, the Warden, the gateway to the void, or the Hall of Bones. So you've got some stuff happening, and some bad stuff happens, and some good stuff happens, depending on what you are. You can get rid of madnesses, unless you fail, in which case you're boned. You can get rid of corruption, just as before, so it's similar to a church, really. And then, the rest of it is all unique to whatever idol they have. So you could get the Doomsday Hood, the Blessing of the Kraken, so that's called a Chiton Blade, the Darkstone Warp Drive. You have like unique events for each of them. If you roll a 4 or a 10, then that makes the unique event happen. You can get a warp coolant injection. It's not a very good idea in my opinion. The Mark IV idols, you've got the inventions there. And then you can get your various bits and bobs. Mechanical prosthetic. You can suppress injury or mutation. It's pretty cool. And then on the back you have the Hall of Bones. I just think this is huge. I mean, the creativity they're showing here is pretty nuts. A gateway to the void. So you've got special sort of triggered events and stuff like that. Control mutation, Talisman of the Void. I just think that's incredibly creative, if I'm honest. I think that the creativity they show here is just nuts. Mining operation, so again you've got your events, another however many events. Pickaxe, relatively simple. Dynamite, so you can get most of the stuff you can get at home. A laser drill, you can't get that at home. Scrap thrower, they can't get that at home either. So you can see they're using up scrap. Buy tiles from the scrap heap. You can see you've got some fungus crops, so that would sort of synergize well with the fungus stuff. Scrap sack, and you can work in the tunnels, work the fungus farms, work in the mines, and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. And then finally, your Wasteland workshop. So this is, I think, where most of the usage of the tiles and the scrap comes in. So there's your events. Junk bomb for scrap, you see. So you're starting to pay scrap for things. Junk bomb satchel, workshop torch, Wasteland tomb chest. So you can see 15 scrap and you can get a tomb chest. That's nice. There we go, Wasteland scrap armor. Now I think this is a game changer personally. 12 scrap and $1,500. That's quite a lot. I just love the 5 upgrades. When purchased, place 6 scrap tokens on this. Discard a scrap armor marker to prevent up to 3 wounds you would take. So that's 18 wounds you can add to your character. From now on, whenever you visit the Wasteland workshop, you may spend 100 to have him add any number of scrap tokens as scrap armor markers. Limit to 6. So that's nice. Armor spikes, so you can cause your scrap armor to hurt people when they roll a 1, which is pretty nuts, especially if they're rolling lots. Extra fittings, limit 10 now, that's pretty nuts. Socket fittings, you don't have to pay to socket them yourself, you can do it pretty much whenever you want. That's nuts! So a fully upgraded one, even if you've got extra fittings and spike, that's only 2 pips. You've still got 3 slots to upgrade. You've got 30 health you can block if you've got a ready supply of scrap. I just think that's awesome. So there you go, handguard, electroshock. See, this is nice. Any model wounded by your combat hit gains a stun on a 4+, but that requires tech. A suspenser. That's nuts. So you could add this to your your Wasteland armor, and now it doesn't have a weight. That is nuts. So 8 tech for that. Axe blade, chain blade, desert scope. So these are the things that I was reading and thinking, whoa, mind blown. But wow. I mean, that's a lot of content. This is why I think it's as close as you can get to another core set. My only sadness, I think, personally, and it might not bear out this way, is those monsters hit hard from the looks of things. So if it was me looking to start from scratch, I'd be thinking the 2 core sets, obviously, Frontier Town, obviously, Blasted Wastes. Could you survive the jump from Targa to the Blasted Wastes? More experienced people than me might be able to chip in and say, I don't know. Then you've got an adventure book. It's the standard one, so you start off with an overview, 2 new worlds, new map tiles, there's the contents page, you got your models, your scrap tokens, your stunned, bleeding. I didn't bother showing those Snapfire tokens, I just figured you'd seen those all before. Additional counters. Then there's the rules on the canyons. Not sure where this shadow is coming from. Oh, it's from the light behind, that's why it's the camera itself. Sorry about this. So that's that. Oh, there you go, there's the barrier rule I was getting confused about. The mine entrance and exits. And then you got the blasted wastes. So the global rules there. You got your scrap tokens, your stun markers, your bleeding markers. There's your tokens for your base ones. There's the sun trap, and this is the thing I was talking about. Night mist, sulfur pools begin to bubble and boil. At the start of a hero's activation, if you're on a place with an acid pool, they take 2 hits with keyword poison, or 1 if it's dusk. So that's why poison immunity would be very powerful with that slimy parasite and stuff. And then you got your scabbies, sort of talking about how to do that. I mean, they get free range attacks and stuff like that. I remember playing, it reminds me of the Frontier Town, and I remember playing that Hunted, where you've got to stop the guy from being hung. We just got our asses handed to us in level 1, absolutely destroyed. I don't know if we were playing badly, but you need to be level 4 or 5, I think. So you go, you got your Wasteland travel chart, so you actually have unique travel hazards here as well. So the campsites and so on and so forth. The temple has some special rules. The new side pad tokens. Okay, so you've got reference cards which I haven't bothered to pull out. And there you go, you've got your new missions. This is the only thing I was a bit sad about, I suppose. Oh, actually, I lie. This one does start on the canyon. Okay, so canyon entrance. So 4 clues. That's actually kind of cool. So you go, you can do mission patrol. We talk through the 4th clue. I haven't read any of these, as you can probably tell by me saying that you don't see these things in the canyon, because actually the first 2 missions are in the canyon. So there you go, you got some cool stuff there. I'm just sort of showing people if they want to see. Across the desert dunes. Everything leads to the blasted wastes. I don't tend to roll for these, I tend to just do them. Starfall. So this is your fixed map. God knows what happens with that. As usual, might all not fit on my table. Not by a long way, but never mind. Okay, so that's cool. Water of life. So you're trying to save a sick town. Oh, finding water in the desert. You literally couldn't get any more Fallout. The War Master's Fury, Mad Max, I suppose. Shame there isn't a Thunderdome. That would be cool. And then there's some stuff about what the other world is like. You got some art. You got, if you're high and you wanna buy 5 sets of Wastelanders, you could paint them all uniquely. That's what I thought I'd do with the serpents. How wrong I was. And then sand crabs and your ghost warriors. Then you have a travel hazards chart, and this is obviously for the wastes, and you can see, I'm not going to show all of it, I've probably spoilt too much already, but you have quite a lot of cool stuff. There's quite a lot of repeats actually from the encounters. Okay, so there you go, and then you got your green sheets, your stranglers and tentacles in case you don't have those, although I think you have to have tentacles, and a little painting guide. Oh look, there we go, we can see what Nectar does. D3 grit, very nice. Junk bomb, free attack, 2d6 minus 5 wounds, spice plus d3 damage, flash minus 2 initiative, stun and bleeding. What an absolutely awesome expansion this is. So 40 minutes it's taken me just to talk through it. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope it gives you a better idea of what you'll be buying if you were to commit to the blasted wastes.